What culture? Simon Miller, ups and downs, that is what life is all about. And as we have just ended 2017 and we're about to enter 2018 or whatever the year is when you watch this, I just want to thank you all for joining me for the last few months of ups and downs and this incredible journey we go on where you don't have to watch any wrestling and I'll watch it for you. But it's my honor, it's my privilege, and I genuinely thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me every week. Anyway, as we have reached the end of the year, there's only one thing that we can do, literally only one thing we can do, and that is up the downs from all of 2017. So that's what I'm going to do. So sit back, enjoy yourself, and let's up some 2017 downs. Now we'll do this back to back as much as we can so we can balance the positive with the negatives, but I think a major down within the WWE in 2017 was their rush to give us first time matches just on free TV. The idea of a build to a pay-per-view in the network era does seem like it's dead and buried. But we did see AJ Styles versus Randy Orton for the first time on a SmackDown. We saw John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura just randomly on a SmackDown. And don't forget what WWE did at No Mercy. We got Roman Reigns versus John Cena, and we got Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman, both for the first time, and while there was some build there, it did feel a bit lackluster, and it did feel a bit like WWE, well, they chopped their load too quick. I really think all of those could have been headliners in their own right and been put on bigger shows if we had just taken a bit more time. And let's face it, now that we are at the end of the year, do they feel special? Do we remember them with great joy? Are we talking about them now, other than here, in the sense they're a down? I don't think we are, and in that sense, maybe it was a mistake. Switching gears though and ramming into up territory, given that we never know how WWE sees Sami Zayn and what they're going to do with him, and Kevin Owens is always a bit of a question mark because we hope that he gets treated like a main eventer, but you're never sure. The fact that WWE decided to pair Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn together towards the end of the year basically made all of their 2017s absolutely wonderful, and that's why it's enough. For starters, it meant we did have a proper shock at the end of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view where Sami Zayn did save his former enemy, and also Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn together are just gold. They're hilarious and they're involved in the Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan, hoopla, ragamuffin nonsense, and that's been some of the best storytelling WWE's done all year. And as we're talking about Owens too, don't forget that he was involved in the Festival of Friendship back in February 2017 and all that stuff he did with Jericho, which does prove that yes, Kevin Owens is a major asset to the WWE, and here he's a major up. But it's back to the downs because when it comes to NXT Callups, some of them did fall a little bit flat in 2017. Sad face. But Bobby Roode and Nakamura, who are great wrestlers, kind of did limp towards the finish line when all was said and done. And I remember way back when this year, I made a video saying that WWE was mistreating Nakamura, and everyone said, oh, give it time, it's early days. Well, I gave it time, it's no longer early days, and I say this, WWE ain't treating Shinsuke Nakamura the right way. It is only fair to say that WWE did seem to learn from their mistakes when it came time to call up Asuka. I mean, it took a few weeks, but still, eventually she was a killing machine. But overall, I do think that the NXT call-ups were a little bit limp over the last year. You may not agree, I'd love to hear the argument otherwise. Another up though, even if it didn't end too well, but Neville. Neville, what a year Neville had, and he is without a doubt one of the biggest ups of 2017. A man who utterly reinvented himself. The former Puck was always amazing in the ring, but he took 2017 to embrace the character side as well, and just became awesome as the king of the cruiserweights. He was mad, he was pissed off. He even made that work on social media with some of the funniest stuff that anybody did. If nothing else, he was just a joy to see each and every week, and he made 205 Live worth watching. And believe you me, before all that, it was not worth watching. He was such a good cruiserweight champ. I was like, yeah, I'll tune in. I will tune in for Neville. It's just such a shame that something happened and now he's vanished, because I'd want him back tomorrow. But even with all that, even with all the controversy, that doesn't mean we don't deserve to give him a massive pat on the back, because he was undoubtedly one of the best wrestlers of 2017, and that's why he does get an up here on Ups and Downs for the end of the year. I do feel sorry for Jason Jordan, but let's face it, everything that WWE did do with him in 2017 was a massive down, and it's pretty much a down from the moment they pulled the trigger on it. A fake storyline angle was just never going to fly in the modern world, especially in a sport where you're meant to suspend your disbelief, and all you have to do to forget all of that is log on to Instagram or Twitter. And all of a sudden somebody's real life is like, oh, of course, you're not actually Kurt Angle's son, because of course you're not actually Kurt Angle's son. No one was ever going to buy into that. It was a stupid idea. And to be fair, I think Jordan did as good as he could with this angle. If he does eventually turn heel and that ties into it all, it may even be saved. However, as an idea and the execution of the idea and the fallout from the idea, it's a definite down. However, WWE has actually allowed a lot of other mid-card talents to shine. even if that wasn't intentional, and that is definitely an up. The likes of Drew Gulak, Aiden English, the Fashion Police, and Elias have used 2017 to get way more over than they ever have done, and they end the year in a far better position than they started it. And if you do that, it means you're a success because you progressed. And also, the more entertaining you are and the more the fans love you, the more potential opportunities are going to open up. I mean, who would have ever thought that Elias would take on John Cena in the opening match on Raw? But that happened. While there were some bad bits to that, it wasn't the best. Still, Elias shared the ring with John Cena. He did good. And if nothing else, they do provide a welcome relief from the usual humdrum that WWE can fall into. And if you can get me out of that, I'll give you an up. That's why they get it. People do often ask me on Ups and Downs, Simon, why are you always giving downs to the women's segment? Well, I'm going to use this video right now to explain, and that's why I'm going to give the entire year, when it comes to the women's division, a down. Now, having the first ever women's Money in the Bank match, as well as the announcement that we'll have the first ever women's Royal Rumble in 2018, is an up. That's long overdue. However, what seems to have been forgotten is the standard week-to-week booking where the women aren't treated anything like the men, and that's ridiculous. Nearly every week we get the women's segment, which is a 10 to 15 minute period where all the women are told to go out there and try and work in about 67 storylines. We don't do that with the guys, so why are we doing it with the gals? Just book them in separate individual angles and let them eke out throughout the show. We don't have to have one point which is just the women's segment. Like big flashing lights in your eyes. It's women's time. It's women's time. Just book them like the dudes. Book them like the dudes. It doesn't have to be a big free-for-all every week, and if you go through the year, it almost often is. We don't need six-man tags all the time. So sure, WWE has made huge strides forward, but maybe the more obvious and more important ones are getting ignored, and in the long run, that could be a problem. Hence the down. In a similar vein, but on the flip side, that's why the UK Championship tournament is going to get it up. It was focused, it had a point, it was over in a weekend, and it was just a lot of damn fun. It is disappointing that this didn't lead to the long talked about UK television show, which I personally, as a man from the United Kingdom, would have enjoyed seeing. However, WWE gave some of the best wrestlers on these shores the chance to show themselves off on the biggest stage. You can't argue with that, and that's why it's an up. And look what Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne did after all of that. They probably had the best match in WWE of all of 2017, and that's incredible. Who would saw that coming a few years ago? I'm happy it happened though, don't get me wrong, I'm over the moon. Those two are future superstars. And I don't think anyone will argue this one, but everything that did happen with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, it's a big down. It was kind of alright when they were a team, it was still decent to a point, even when Randy Orton was burning down Bray Wyatt's shed or whatever he did. But then we had that match at WrestleMania, which was followed by the House of Horrors encounter, and let's face it, they were both terrible. This also ties into the fact that 2017 just wasn't a good year for Wyatt at all, and this was the year when he won the World Championship. But it was also a time where WWE told him, hey Bray, you gotta dress up like your sister, whatever that was. Despaired all round, and yeah, down. And it may be a bit of a bust now because of injuries and sickness that really pulled the rug out from underneath it, but I do have to give an up to the reunion of the Shield just because I thought WWE did a good job with it, and when it did happen, it felt pretty damn special. The most important part is that it did light the fires of many WWE fans, and I think in that sense, you can't crap over it too much. And hey, it even got Roman Reigns cheered for a while, and I bet that made Vince McMahon happy, and I like people being happy. That's why I'm happy this happened. And it's another up as we go full on into positive mode for the rest of the video, because while it was ages ago now, Bill Goldberg's final WWE run, that was an up. Sure, it wasn't great that he beat Kevin Owens so quickly at the Royal Rumble, but everything else WWE did with him here was perfect, and is exactly what they should have done with Goldberg back in 2003, and you know what they say, it's better late than never, but it's better never late. We finally got to see Bill used in a promotion correctly that wasn't WCW and erase all those stupid memories from WrestleMania 20. Whether you like him or not, Bill Goldberg is a legend, and this is how he should have gone out, and it pleases me so much that he went out this way with a damn good match against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 33. And I'm also going to throw an up WWE's way for their excellent use of nostalgia throughout 2017. And I know that's an easy tool to take advantage of, but I love that damn tool! So it's getting all the good stuff from me. But be it the excellent return of the Hardys at WrestleMania, the fact that NXT had a War Games show, that WWE ran a Starrcade house show, or the fact that Kurt Angle came back to Raw as general manager, well, it all made me feel like a kid again, and I love feeling like a kid again because I'm an old man and I'm going to be dead soon. And you know what else was a massive up in the WWE this year? Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe. And that is even more fascinating because when Joe first arrived in NXT, he was told, "You're here for life, dude. Don't expect a main roster run." And now he's probably the best heel on Raw. The feud was amazing though, mostly because of how seriously both people portrayed their characters, And we had that excellent segment when Joe choked out Heyman. It was like eerily real and eerily violent. It was kind of like it was actually happening. And then we got the match itself and the pair just whooped each other's ass. Awesome. And it did help Joe no end, because here we are at the end of the year and he's still being treated like a destroyer, and you just know it's because the program with Brock was so successful. What a turnaround. What a turnaround from 2015 when he did walk into the doors of NXT. You're great, Samoa Joe. Make sure you go out there and have an even better 2018. I know you got it in you. And I'd be remiss if I didn't give an up to AJ Styles, who is probably the best wrestler in the world and without doubt the best wrestler in WWE. So yeah, it's an up. Not only did he start 2017 as WWE Champion, but he ended the year with the belt as well. And no matter who he was put with, no matter what match he had, what program he was asked to do, he lived up to his nickname and he was phenomenal. And that's even more amazing because he's 40 years old and he just keeps getting better. WWE at this stage must realise how important he is to the company, and if nothing else, he had that bout with Brock Lesnar, which I loved. I literally loved it to the point I thought, maybe I should ask this to marry me. I even bought an engagement ring. None of that's true, that's gibberish. Either way, there's no way that, much like Joe, 2018 is not going to be another great year for Styles, because he's just the best. He's the best, and I love the fact he's doing so well in the Fed. And our penultimate up, how the hell can we not sing the praises of one Braun Strowman, the surprise package of 2017. But the former powerlifter has just got better and better over the last year, and while a lot of credit does have to go to Roman Reigns and the program those two had, we can't take anything away from Braun Strowman, who has just managed to improve week in, week out. He promotes his strengths and he hides his weaknesses. That's all you can ask of the man. I think what's best about all of this is that it was organic too. I mean, of course WWE wanted us to treat him like a big deal, but they didn't push him down our throats and they let it build to the point we're all like, oh my gosh, Braun Strowman's amazing. He's a walking cartoon. And he hasn't even been wrestling that long either, so who knows how good he's gonna get. Could be something here with Braun, and to be honest with you, I'm very excited to see it. And there's only one more final up to give in this ups and downs of 2017, and I hope you know what it is, because if you don't, it means you haven't been watching WWE TV, or you're just not familiar with the new calendar. But we learned that every day is Rusev Day, and I look forward to celebrating 365 Rusev Days in 2018. Happy Rusev Day. My name is Simon from WhatCulture, and once again, thank you so much for joining me over the last 12 months. I'll see your face next year. You'll see my face. We'll have a face-off like John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, and it will be great. I love you all. Merry, merry, merry New Year. Is that what people say? Don't think it is.